the top salesperson who brings in millions in revenue for the company. Just because I didn't compliment her looks in the company's Snapchat group, she fired me without hesitation. She replaced me with her cousin. Until later, when the company's sales plummeted to zero, she came to apologize to me in person. "Please come back. My boyfriend said he'd break up with me if you don't return." The boss went on a business trip for a month and left his girlfriend in charge of the company. Who knew that her first act as the new boss would be to target me? At 10 a.m., I arrived at the office on time. I saw my colleague looking nervous, pointing at the boss's office and whispering, "Tiffany's here, she wants to see you." Tiffany Fox was the boss's new girlfriend, known for her arrogance and bullying. She would curse at anyone she didn't like. Once, when a female colleague stayed a bit longer in the boss's office to report work, Tiffany spread rumors that she was a prostitute. She bullied that girl so much that she was forced to resign. But because Tiffany was sweet-talking and good at flattery, the boss usually let her do whatever she wanted. I didn't expect her to target me now. I put down my coffee and pushed open the door to enter the office. As soon as I entered, a file flew towards my face. "Do you know what time it is? Company policy states work starts at 8 a.m. Why are you coming in at 10? The sharp edge of the file folder left a bloody cut on my forehead. I held my head, looking at Tiffany, who was throwing her weight around behind the desk. My 10 a.m. start time was a perk for being the top salesperson. Everyone in the company knew about this unwritten rule. Years ago, when the boss's company was about to go bankrupt, they accidentally hired me. In my first month, I generated $5 million in sales, bringing the company back from the brink of death. Since then, the boss had treated me like a precious asset, usually listening to my opinions on major decisions. She slammed the table, her face contorted with rage. "Look at your punch card. You've been coming in at 10 for a whole month. Do you think you're above company rules? According to company policy, 3 consecutive days of tardiness can result in termination. You can get out now." I looked at Tiffany in disbelief. "You're firing me? Did you ask the boss? I created 80% of the company's profits, and she dared to fire me." Tiffany snorted coldly, looking at me with disdain. "You're just a salesperson, a lousy peddler. What's wrong with me firing you? This is my boyfriend's company. I'm the boss's girlfriend. I can fire whoever I want." The boss had treated me well, so I couldn't just leave like this. I sat down on the sofa. "You should ask for the boss's opinion first." Tiffany rolled her eyes. "Who do you think you are?" Saying this, she directly called the boss. The boss's voice on the other end sounded tired. "What's the matter?" Tiffany, who had just been yelling at me in a shrill voice, immediately softened her tone, cooing, "Honey, I miss you." The boss sighed. "Just tell me what you want." Tiffany glanced at me triumphantly. "There's a salesperson who doesn't follow the rules, always coming in late. I want to fire him." "Whatever, I need to rest now." The boss casually agreed and hung up. Tiffany looked at me arrogantly. "Did you hear that? I can fire whoever I want. Now get out." I laughed coldly, looking at Tiffany. "Are you sure? If the boss comes back and finds out you fired me, he might get angry." I kindly reminded her. After all, headhunters had been trying to poach me with high offers for years, but out of loyalty to the boss, I had always stayed. My leaving wouldn't affect me at all. But Tiffany might not be so lucky. Tiffany glared at me, her face twisted with arrogance and tyranny. "Who do you think you are? You're just a salesperson. I'm my boyfriend's future wife, the mistress of this company. Do you think he'd choose you over me?" Hearing her say this, I shook my head. If that's how it is, so be it. I turned and left the office. Outside, my colleagues had heard our argument, but didn't know what happened. They kept looking at me. "Boss, what's going on?" I started packing my things efficiently, smiling. "What's going on?" "I got fired, that's what." My colleague's eyes widened, looking at me in disbelief. "Fire you? Has Tiffany gone crazy? Everyone knows you're the boss's golden goose. Isn't she afraid the boss will break up with her?" I shook my head and chuckled. "Well, that's not my problem anymore, after all. It's her decision, she'll have to bear the consequences. Besides, I've been working for so many years, it might be nice to take a good rest." I had long ago saved enough money to be financially independent, but I had never taken a break and felt too embarrassed to ask. This was a perfect opportunity. My colleague was furious. "But why did she fire you? Did you offend her somehow, boss?" I frowned, thinking carefully. "I guess it's because last time when she spread rumors about Zoe, I stood up for Zoe, remember? Since then, she's been picking on me, always finding fault one way or another. Yesterday, Tiffany uploaded a photo of herself to the company WhatsApp group, and everyone was flooding the comments with compliments. I was the only one who read it without replying. I guess that was the final straw. Should I call the boss now? You're the backbone of the company. You can't just leave like this. I shook my head, smiling lightly. Forget it. If I ever come back, it'll be after Tiffany and the boss break up. I really can't stand her behavior anymore. I finished packing my things and headed to the finance department to collect my salary for the month. I had only worked for 10 days this month, but my salary and commission amounted to $100,000. I informed the finance staff about my termination and asked her to transfer the salary to my account later. Unexpectedly, Tiffany suddenly appeared at the company entrance, glaring at me. Jack Wilson, didn't I tell you to get lost? What are you doing here? I looked at her calmly. She was gloating, thinking she had found a good boyfriend. Looking particularly disgusting. Seeing that I didn't respond to her, Tiffany became agitated. She came forward and grabbed my clothes. Are you deaf? What are you doing in the finance department? These are all important company documents. Get out now, or I'll call the police. I frowned and forcefully shook off Tiffany's hand. Let go. Now that I've been fired, is there a problem with me collecting my salary for this month? I'm already being nice by not asking for severance pay. Tiffany glared at the young girl in front of me. How much is his salary? The finance girl answered honestly. 100, 500. Tiffany's face immediately changed. How much? After the finance girl repeated it, she pointed at me and said, you violated company rules by being late, so your salary for this month is forfeited. I laughed coldly. A 200 deduction for each tardiness. Is that how you calculate? Did you even graduate elementary school? To my surprise, Tiffany looked at me righteously. It's a new rule I made. 3 tardies and your whole month's salary is gone. Now get out. What right do you have to make rules? Tiffany crossed her arms, her mouth gaping like a shark, shamelessly saying, I'll have a share in this company in the future. What's wrong with me making rules? I couldn't be bothered to argue with her. Then you can expect a lawsuit from me. With that, I strode out. I drove home and had just put my things away when I saw a group message from Tiffany in the company's Snapchat group that I hadn't left yet. From now on, everyone must reply to any messages I post on Snapchat or WhatsApp. Those who don't reply will be fired like that person today. It seems she really fired me because I didn't join in praising her. The boss really hit the jackpot with this girlfriend of his. Everyone started replying to the group message. I found it annoying and simply left all the groups. My phone suddenly became much quieter. However, since Tiffany wouldn't let me take my last month's salary, I decided to teach her a lesson. All the important clients were saved in my contacts, so I sent out a mass message to these clients, basically saying that I had resigned and would no longer be handling business for the company. Most of these people were clients I had brought in, and they were mainly working with the company because of me. If I left, they would likely follow me. Sure enough, within 2 minutes, former clients started messaging me, asking which company I had gone to and expressing their willingness to transfer their contracts. I explained the situation to each of them, saying that I hadn't found a new job yet, but I would contact them as soon as I did. There were so many clients on my contact list that I kept replying until it got dark, and finally fell asleep from exhaustion. When I woke up the next day, a colleague had sent me a message. Boss, many of our business partners are saying they want to terminate their cooperation and won't renew their contracts. Was this your doing? It seems the plan had worked, I chuckled. I didn't do anything. I just told them the fact that I'm no longer working there. You're still the best, boss. When Tiffany came in this morning and heard about this, she blew up at several salespeople, demanding to know why they couldn't retain the clients. Now several salespeople are planning to quit, saying they won't put up with this crap. It seems quite a few people in the company were unhappy with Tiffany. I wondered how she would handle the fallout. On my end, I was preparing to contact a lawyer to file a major lawsuit to get my salary back. After all, I didn't really need the money, but I couldn't let her off easy. Unexpectedly, after just a few days, Tiffany called me. I was surprised and answered uncertainly, "What is it?" As soon as I picked up, I was met with a barrage of abuse from the other end. "Jack Wilson, are you even human? I'm asking you, where did all the company's client contacts go? They said you have them all. Give me those phone numbers right now. That's company property. Don't think I won't sue you. I was stunned for a moment, then realized that Tiffany must be getting desperate. How can you be so disgusting? Give me the client contacts right now or I swear I'll destroy you. You believe me?